Hi, dear my friend. Hope you guys are going great. Today I want to share something about Alendra Bill. We has been worked since 2016, and she is the wonderful actor and never give of any kind of acting and role once she given commitment. And yes, so she is the brilliant and natural beauty women in this world. In a world where beauty ruled and elegance was the most sought after attribute, there was one woman who stood above all others, Alendra Bill. She was not just another beautiful face, she was a force of nature captivating everyone who crossed her path with her dazzling presence. Her allure was magnetic, her charm undeniable, and her confidence unmatched. Alendra Bill was known far and wide as the most beautiful and sexy woman in the world. With every step she took, heads turned, and whispers followed in her wake. Her striking features, a flawless complexion, hypnotic eyes, and a smile that could light up the darkest room, were complemented by a body that seemed sculpted by the gods. She was not just physically stunning, she had an air of mystery, intelligence, and strength that made her irresistible. But Alendra's beauty was just one part of her story. She was more than just a pretty face. She was a woman of power, passion, and purpose. As an accomplished artist, her work had graced the screens of countless web series, TV serials, and albums, each project cementing her status as an unstoppable creative force. She had the world at her feet, yet she remained grounded, driven by a desire to create and inspire. Despite the fame and admiration that surrounded her, Alendra Bill had always been fiercely independent. She wasn't swayed by the superficial praise of those who only saw her outer beauty. She sought deeper connections, real love, and genuine admiration for her art and intellect. Behind her dazzling exterior, there was a woman of complexity, with a heart that yearned for passion and adventure. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Alendra found herself at an exclusive gala in the heart of the city. Dressed in a gown that hugged her curves perfectly, she moved through the crowd with the grace of a queen. People stared, mesmerized by her beauty, but Alendra's eyes were searching for something more. She wasn't interested in shallow conversations or empty flattery. She craved something real. As the night wore on, a stranger approached her. He was unlike anyone she had ever met, charming, confident, and uninterested in the glamour that surrounded her. His eyes locked with hers, and in that moment Alendra felt something she hadn't felt in a long time: intrigue. He didn't compliment her looks or fame. Instead, he asked about her art, her inspirations, and her passions. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, and for the first time in years, Alendra felt truly seen. The night unfolded in a whirlwind of conversation and laughter, and by the end, Alendra knew she had found something special. She had always been the center of attention, but now she had found someone who saw beyond her beauty and recognized the depth of her soul. As she stood on the balcony of her penthouse, overlooking the glittering city, Alendra Bill smiled. She was beautiful, sexy, and powerful, but more than that, she was a woman who had finally found the love and connection she had always desired, and in that moment, she knew that her story was only just beginning. With the world at her feet and love in her heart, Alendra Bill was unstoppable, ready to conquer whatever came her way. She was the embodiment of beauty and strength, and her legacy would continue to inspire and captivate for generations to come. In a kingdom far beyond the reach of ordinary mortals, there existed a queen whose beauty was rivaled only by her strength. Her name was Alendra Bill, known across the lands as the Fire of the Queen. She was a ruler unlike any other, a woman forged in the flames of battle, passion, and power. Alendra's reign was legendary. Her kingdom flourished under her rule, thanks to her wisdom and fierce determination. But her real power lay not just in her ability to lead, it was in the fire that burned deep within her, a fire that none could tame. She was a queen who defied all expectations, a force of nature with a gaze that could bring empires to their knees, and a heart that beat with the rhythm of untold passion. Her beauty was like the sun, dazzling and untouchable. Alendra's long raven-black hair cascaded over her shoulders like a waterfall of midnight. Her eyes gleamed with a golden intensity, and her every movement was poetry in motion, but her true allure lay in her strength. The fire that roared within her was a symbol of her courage, her unbreakable spirit, and her refusal to bow to anyone. Many had tried to win her heart, but none had succeeded. For Alendra, the throne was not a place for weak minds and shallow hearts. She sought a partner who could stand beside her, someone who could match her power, her ambition, and her relentless drive. She wanted not just a king, but an equal, someone who could fan the flames of her inner fire, not extinguish it. But as the years passed, Alendra remained alone on her throne. Though she was adored by her people and feared by her enemies, the queen felt the weight of solitude pressing down on her. She had built an empire, but the fires of her heart longed for something more. One fateful day, a mysterious warrior arrived at her court.
Clad in armor as dark as the night sky, his eyes shone with a fierce determination, and his every movement echoed with the grace of a seasoned fighter. The warrior had come from a distant land, seeking an audience with the great queen. When Alendra met him, the air crackled with tension. She had never encountered anyone like him, someone who looked at her not with our fear, but with a burning intensity that mirrored her own. His name was Kale, and though he was a warrior, he had the soul of a poet. He spoke to her not of war or politics, but of the fire within her, the unstoppable force that made her the woman she was. For the first time, Alendra felt as though she had met her match. Kale wasn't intimidated by her power, embraced it, admired it. He saw the fire that burned within her, and instead of fearing it, he sought to add fuel to the flame. Together, they were unstoppable, two forces of nature bound by passion, strength, and an unbreakable will. As the days turned to weeks and the weeks to months, Alendra and Kale grew closer. He became her trusted confidant, her most loyal advisor, and eventually, the one who captured her heart. Their love was not gentle or soft, it was a fierce, blazing fire that consumed them both, burning brighter than the sun. Under their united rule, the kingdom flourished like never before. Together, they forged a legacy that would be remembered for centuries. The fire of the queen had found its equal, and with Kale by her side, Alendra's power only grew stronger. She was no longer just a queen, she was a legend, a symbol of strength, passion, and unrelenting fire. And so, the story of Alendra Bill, the fire of the queen, became the stuff of legends. Her kingdom thrived, her people adored her, and her enemies feared the unquenchable flame that she and her warrior king carried within them. And thank you guys for watching me here. I will bring hot topic of her very soon, and kindly subscribe to see my next video.